for putting this on. So my name is Ian Hippensteel. I'm with the Sea Education Association. We operate programs called Sea Semester. So I'll just be sharing some information about our programs, and there will be a few slides towards the end of this presentation that touch on commonly frequently asked questions and answers, but we can also hold time for any questions that you folks have towards the end. So feel free to save your questions till the end, or you can drop them in the chat as they come up, and I will answer everything to the best of my ability at the end of the presentation. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. The Sea Education Association, or SEA, as I will probably go into acronym mode for the rest of the presentation, is a global teaching, learning, and research community that's dedicated to the exploration, understanding, and stewardship of marine and maritime environments. So SEA empowers students with life-changing ocean voyages of scientific and cultural discovery, academic rigor, and personal growth. Our unique study abroad programs feature an interdisciplinary curriculum that is combined with a hands-on sailing component to create a dynamic leadership development experience both on shore and at sea aboard tall ships. All programs are multidisciplinary in nature and focus on the most critical environmental issues of our time, including climate change, sustainability, biodiversity, human impacts on the environment, and environmental justice. While all of our programs are multidisciplinary in nature, we do offer some programs that are geared more towards STEM and science policy fields, as well as other programs that are more humanities and social science oriented. SEA sails nearly year-round, and with a variety of regular semester and shorter summer programs, we're confident that we'll be able to offer a program that is right for any student. Each of our unique study abroad programs begins with a shore component, wherein students begin their training and academic coursework, as well as live and work together to begin to strengthen the bonds of community. SEA is based in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, a seaside Cape Cod town that is very walkable and bike friendly. There are lots of beaches and a ton to explore in the area itself, and Woods Hole is also proximate to Providence, Boston, and other popular New England tourist destinations. Woods Hole is home to 6 research institutions that's known collectively worldwide for its scientific community, including the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute and UChicago's Marine Biological Laboratory. SEA is an independent organization, but is very much a part of the greater research community. So meaning students can share resources with other institutions, such as library materials, attending guest speakers, lectures, other events. SEA has our own campus in Woods Hole, which consists of one main building, which includes labs, classrooms, a lecture hall, a computer lounge, a library, a student lounge, and faculty and staff offices. Our main building is bordered by 5 student colleges, 3 of which are featured in this photo. Each cottage houses 10 to 12 students in an environment similar to a campus dorm or an off-campus lodging. The shore component is followed by a sea component, wherein students set sail together and fully immerse themselves as members of the ship's crew. Throughout the sea component, SEA students apply their academic coursework and shore-based training towards the overall success of the voyage. In today's ever-evolving COVID-19 landscape, SEA places the health and safety of our students, faculty, staff, crew, and communities at the forefront of everything we do. SEA began requiring vaccinations for students and staff in fall of 2021. Consistent with CDC guidelines, we continue to require masks and social distancing while indoors on our campus. SEA students arriving on campus are required to have a negative COVID-19 test prior to arrival and will continue to be tested while they remain in Woods Hole. Students will observe strict social distancing and isolation for a minimum of 10 days upon arrival to campus in order to form a safe bubble community akin to a household group. After the introductory shore component, SEA students set sail on board one of our two tall ships. The Robert C. Seamans, SEA's newest vessel, was built in Tacoma, Washington, and is the most sophisticated oceanographic research and sailing school vessel ever built in the US. Modern improvements in design and equipment, including a wet-dry laboratory and a larger library, classroom, and computer lab, enhance the overall experience on board the ship. This is our second ship, the Corwith Cramer, that's primarily based in the Atlantic Ocean. The Corwith Cramer was named after SEA's founding director and was constructed in Spain in 1987. While at sea, SEA student cohorts are joined by 10 to 13 faculty and crew that are aboard each ship. The ship operates 24/7, so groups of faculty, crew, and/or students are always on duty to keep things running. No sailing experience is necessary. The mates and scientists will teach students all of the skills and responsibilities needed. Once a day while at sea, the entire ship comes together for class, readings, presentations, and/or navigational cruise track updates. Undergraduate research is a cornerstone of SEA, with an emphasis on field-based study in the marine and social sciences. SEA students learn and work side by side with SEA faculty and staff who are active in their respective fields through grant-funded research, participation in professional conferences, and publication in scholarly journals across many fields and disciplines. These are just some of the many themes that have emerged in recent years in faculty and student research while at SEA. Faculty encourage SEA students to contribute new aspects to ongoing research or to develop their own avenues of inquiry as they guide students through the entire research process, from defining the scope of study to final presentation of their work. Many students also continue their research upon return to their home institutions, using the field data collected at SEA as the basis of senior thesis and/or capstone projects. And these are just a few of the titles of student projects and manuscripts. So SEA student research projects also span a number of different academic disciplines and frequently feature an applied real-world policy focus. So these being just a few examples. So you've just been given a lot of information and you may have some questions. So we have some common frequently asked questions and answers. How far in advance should a student submit their application? We welcome applications up to 1 year in advance and encourage students to apply early in order to ensure availability of their first choice program. All programs do operate on a rolling admissions basis, meaning we review each application once all materials are submitted, and it's then considered complete. Is sailing experience necessary? No, in fact, many students have never set foot on a sailboat of any kind before their SEA program. The coursework on shore at the beginning of each semester provides thorough preparation in both the theory and practice of sailing a tall ship. The last time we compiled data on this was, I think, a few years ago, so it might be a little bit off, but as of the last time we pulled these numbers, about 2/3 of students had never sailed prior to joining us. How many students are in each program and who tends to enroll? Each SEA program enrolls up to 25 students maximum. A wide variety of majors is always represented. What kind of support do students receive? Admitted students are connected with SEA Student Services, which works to support student physical and mental health, safety, and well-being both onshore and at sea. SEA faculty and staff strive to support students according to their unique needs, as we believe that diversity is a strength to be developed in our programs, on board our ships, in our community, and in our world. We are committed to understanding and strengthening those connections every day and in every aspect of the work we do. So this next slide just runs through the overall admissions process. So, as previously mentioned, we have a limited number of spots, roughly 24 to 25 on board each ship/program. Therefore, we do encourage folks to get everything in as quickly as possible. Materials are reviewed on a first come, first served basis. Our goal is also to make SEA affordable for every student. So we work with each student individually, taking into consideration every particular circumstance that is unique to them. So please do not let finances stand in the way of an opportunity. Let us know if you have any questions about paying for SEA, as we do have a wide variety of financial aid options available. With our commitment to affordability, we are confident that we can definitely make this program a reality for any student. So let's just spend a few minutes diving into alumni and life after SEA. So in our 50 years of taking students throughout the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, SEA has amassed an extensive alumni base comprising a diverse array of individuals who have found success in a variety of different fields. We have nearly 9,000 total alumni throughout the United States and the world, many of whom have been positively influenced in their career paths by their time at SEA. Well, thank you very much. That wraps up the presentation that I've prepared. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and then take a look through the chat. So we can go through any questions about any of the material that I presented, and I can do my best to answer any questions that come up.
Hi.
Sorry. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
So I saw that some of the requirements, they said that you needed like specific lab components or like 300 level courses, but it also noticed, it mentioned that like you can apply if you're like a high school student. So I'm not really sure like what the requirements are. Like, do you need specific lab components for some of the courses?
You do, yeah. So while we don't block particular majors from particular programs, we do have one or two programs that have lab prerequisites, such as you mentioned, a 300 level lab component. So it does depend on the particular program. The majority of our programs do not have a lab requirement, but those that do are typically open only to upper level undergraduate students, so not necessarily high school students. We have another set of programs for high school, summer and gap year students. But those programs that are more lab focused and lab intensive are still open to any major, but do tend to draw in upper level students from STEM majors, as they are more likely to have completed a 300 level lab or whatnot. But we've also taken social science students who have lab experience, et cetera.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Let me also, before I forget, drop in a couple links. Just the first one is our view book. So that was a great question about the particularities of the program. So this view book, I just put it into chat. The view book helps, basically it's like a catalog. It helps lay out each of our programs, including the term or semester that they're offered, the exact or particular dates, and then any particular requirements in terms of, labs for the small number that do require that. So that's the first link. And then you may have seen this link already or may have already filled it out, but this second link is just a sign up sheet for more information. So, we'll definitely go through any questions you may have here, but if you have any questions that would be better suited to our admissions team, or you just want to stay up to date on program developments, et cetera, that second link, the one that starts with sign up, that will, if you fill that out, that will go directly to our admissions team. One thing I did want to mention, so thank you to the students who dropped in their majors. Looks like a nice mix of majors and double majors. But so for depending on your class level, typically students who are participating in virtual or in-person study abroad fairs are first years or sophomores. But if you are a junior or thinking about maybe studying abroad with us this particular upcoming semester, so spring of 2022, I would want to point you to either one of those links, as for the time being, our port stops and cruise tracks are limited given the scope of the travel restrictions that are still in place. So while we're able to offer programs that maintain the ocean science focus and have a lot of the lab and coursework and independent study avenues still available, the actual destinations are somewhat askew. But our hope is that by fall of 2022, knock on wood, we'll get back to our normal cruise tracks, including international destinations and whatnot.
If there's not any other student questions right now, I'll just want to point out that if you are planning to study abroad next semester, you should get in touch with your study abroad office at your home institution pretty quickly. And then also many of our institutions have a study abroad process that starts this fall already for the following year. So you'll just want to make sure to be up to date with your home institution's deadlines and process for getting approval to apply to study abroad programs. Shall we wrap it up, and I will stop the recording and send it around afterwards?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Thank you again, Jennifer. And thank you all so much for stopping by. Like I said, feel free. I'll also just drop in my email address as well. So feel free to reach out to me directly via email or reach out to our admissions team if any other questions come up later on as you're looking everything over. And yeah, thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Great. Well, thanks.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, appreciate it.
I will.